I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. Okay? I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. Okay. I'm not gonna give you an introduction. I'm not gonna give you this. I'm just gonna tell you about whatever I think of this race, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. Okay? Okay. All right. Good. All right. I'm sure you've read the title, so you probably know what this is. This might have been one of the greatest finishes I've ever seen in the history of the NASCAR Cup Series. I'm just going to leave it at that. This is up there with the 2007 Daytona 500. This is up there with the, I believe it was the 2003 Carolina Dodge Dealers? I believe, with Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch at the end. The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. And I suppose even the 1992 Hooters 500 as well. I would say you could probably put that up there too. And now the 2022 Xfinity 500 at Martinsville for the playoffs, for the final spot in the championship four. What a season for Trackhouse racing. Just like, love or hate Ross Chastain, okay? I do not care at this point. Yes, he's had his moments where he's been way too aggressive. He's had his moments where he's been kind of viewed as this, like, new Kyle Busch sort of type driver. A very polarizing type driver, you know? But I mean, come on. You gotta respect whatever he just did. That is... I think they said it very, very well on the broadcast. That is going to be replayed next to Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s Passing the Grass. Next to, I just mentioned the 1992 Hooters 500 with Alan Kulwicki winning the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Kevin Harvick winning a few weeks after Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s death at Atlanta in 2001. That's going to go with those clips. Improbable, impossible, absolutely unbelievable finish. And that's part one of this. That's part one. Because you also have Christopher Bell, for the second time in this playoffs, winning a must-win race to advance into the championship four. So we have two young drivers, along with two champions, in Chase Elliott and Joey Logano. And those final 10 laps, man, were incredible, too. Those final 10 laps were... I was not expecting this Martinsville race to be as good as it was. I will say the beginning parts were kind of dull. There were a lot of parts, specifically at the beginning, where it was very little passing. Once again, we have that issue like we had earlier, and I think it was April, where it's either the cars are way too slow, and they just aren't able to get enough runs on cars to make good passes on somebody, and you have to use the bumper. But even then, sometimes the bumper doesn't even work. And it's Martinsville. It's supposed to work, you know what I mean? So this race isn't perfect. I'm not saying it's the perfect race. I'm not saying that at all. But man, that finish at the end definitely made it something. The fact that Ross Chastain planned it. The fact that he said and mentioned that he did that in NASCAR 2005 for the GameCube, never thought would work in real life. I'm not making any of this up, by the way. He said that. But he never thought would work in real life, and yet, whenever he told his guys over the radio on that final lap, he said, hey, how much do I need? And he decided to switch it into fifth gear as he headed into turn number 3 and just gunned it. Keep in mind, most drivers, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Absolutely correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe most drivers run, to second gear? Maybe third gear around this racetrack? All the way around, I believe. Very rarely will they ever really use the shifter. But Ross brings it up to fifth gear and just guns it. And doesn't just hit the wall and bounce off like we've seen so many other drivers. He just sticks. He gains speed. I'm seriously thinking that he was going, I don't know, just a loose estimate, maybe like 140 through turns 3 and 4 at Martinsville. A track where you usually go, 50, 60. Probably even slower. I have no idea what words. Holy shit. Aside from that, I would say that this race was pretty good. Like I said, the early goings were kind of rough at times. A lot of April. I feel like this car still needs to be improved in that department, especially on this track and short tracks in general, because short tracks in general have been very hit or miss this season, very much. So I'm hoping next year we see a little bit more with that. Now that we're finally done with the short tracks and we're heading to Phoenix next week for the final race of the season, I really, really want to see, I guess, more of an improvement in terms of the actual racing product, and I want to see more passes up front specifically. But I will definitely say that finish certainly did make up for it. But it's still there, and it's still an issue, unfortunately, that NASCAR will definitely have to resolve during the off-season for sure. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Holy shit. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Awesome. One of the most surreal, incredible, amazing moves I've ever seen in NASCAR. That's it. That's all I really need to say. So yeah, guys, I'm going to see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.